Hello, and welcome or welcome back to Passages 22 YouTube channel. Today we are looking at the book, The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, Reclaiming Your Power, Creativity, Brilliance, and Dreams by Debbieford. We have been directed to page 55. Passage is entitled, Know Thy Shadow, Know Thyself. Within each of us lies a solid gold treasure. This golden essence is our spirit, pure and magnificent, open and glowing. But this gold has been covered up by a hard shell of clay. The clay comes out of our fear. It is our social mask, the face we show the world. Unconcealing your shadow reveals your mask. We must look at this mask with love and compassion, for there is great value in understanding what we hide behind. Consider the story of the Golden Buddha. In 1957, a monastery in Thailand was being relocated, and a group of monks was put in charge of moving a giant clay Buddha. In the midst of the move, one of the monks noticed a crack in the Buddha. Concerned about damaging the idol, the monks decided to wait for a day before continuing with their task. When night came, one of the monks came to check on the giant statue. He shined his flashlight over the entire Buddha. When he reached the crack, he saw something reflecting back at him. The monk, his curiosity aroused, got a hammer, began chipping away at the clay Buddha. As he knocked off piece after piece of clay, the Buddha got brighter and brighter. After hours of work, the monk looked up in amazement to see, standing before him, a huge, solid gold Buddha. Many historians believe the Buddha had been covered in clay by Thai monks several hundred years earlier, before an attack by the Burmese army. They covered the Buddha to keep it from being stolen. In the attack, all the monks were killed, so it wasn't until 1957, when the monks were moving the giant statue, that the great treasure was discovered. Like the Buddha, our outer shell protects us from the world. Our real treasure is hidden within. We human beings unconsciously hide our inner gold under a layer of clay. All we need to do to uncover our gold is have the courage to chip away at our outer shell, piece by piece. In my seminars, I often work with people who have invested in years of therapy, transformational seminars, breath work, and other healing modalities. They ask the same questions. When will it end? When will I be done? How much more work must I do on the issues that come up over and over again? These people are not looking at themselves as magnificent Buddhas encased in clay shells. These people hate their shells. They haven't discovered that their clay shells protect them in more ways than they can imagine. We need our shells for many reasons, and for each of us, the reasons may be different. Even though our ultimate goal is to shed our shells, we first need to understand and make peace with these masks. Do you think after the monks chiseled the shell off the gold Buddha, the Buddha angrily said, I hated that horrible shell? Or do you think the Buddha blessed the shell that served to protect him from being stolen away from his home? When I was young, my outer shell was tough, uncaring, and unsensitive, saying I've got it all together, hid my feelings of inadequacy, and gave me the illusion that I was okay. As I chiseled away at my shell, piece by piece, my shining essence began to emerge. But it was not until I had distinguished those aspects that made up my shell as a cover-up for my hidden emotions that I was able to see past my tough exterior. Once I started looking through the cracks, I was able to see and let go of my shell. And when I came to appreciate and respect this hard shell for protecting me, my life was transformed. Your outer shell is the you who faces the world. It hides the characteristics that make up your shadow. Our shadows are so well distinguished that we often show the world one face when in fact the exact opposite is really within us. Some people wear a layer of toughness that hides their sensitivity, or a mask of humor to cover up their sadness. People who know it all are usually covering up feelings of stupidity, while those who act arrogantly have yet to reveal their insecurity. The cool people are hiding the geek within, and the smiling face, those are the angry ones. We have to look beyond our social masks in order to discover our authentic selves. We are masters of disguise, fooling others, but also fooling ourselves. It's the lies we tell ourselves that we need to decipher. When we are not completely satisfied, happy, healthy, or fulfilling our dreams, we know these lies are in our way. This is how we recognize our shadow at work. The shift that needs to occur is perceptual. You need to see your outer shell as having served as protection, not just something that's keeping you from fulfilling your dreams. Your outer shell is divinely designed to guide your spiritual process. By revisiting and exploring each incident, emotion, and experience that led you to construct that shell, you'll be guided back home to embrace the totality of your being. Our shells are the roadmap to our personal growth. They are made up of all that we are and all that we don't want to be. No matter how painful your past or present might be, if you look at yourself truthfully and use the information stored in your outer shell as a guide, it will lead you in your journey towards enlightenment. When you get to know your whole self, you will no longer need your shell to protect you. You will naturally allow your masks to fall away, exposing your authentic self to the world. You will not have to pretend that you're more or less than anyone else. Everyone in the world can become your peer. Our shells are created from our ego ideal. The ego is the self, distinguished from other. Spirit combines self and other as one. When the union between spirit and self occurs, we become one with ourselves and one with the world. Most people don't get very far unconcealing their shadow because they're unwilling to be honest with themselves. The ego doesn't enjoy losing control. The moment you acknowledge all aspects of yourself, the good and the bad, the ego begins to feel a loss of power. In the Tibetan book of Living and Dying, Sogyal Rinpoche, forgive me if I butchered that, explains that the ego is our false and ignorantly assumed identity. So ego then is the absence of true knowledge of who we really are, together with its result, a doomed clutching on at all cost to a cobbled together and makeshift image of ourselves, an inevitably chameleon charlatan self that keeps changing and has to keep alive the fiction of its existence. If you began the process of unconcealing your shadow and a voice inside starts screaming for you to stop, know that it's only your ego fearing its own death. Give yourself permission to uncover your true self. Challenge the person you think you are in order to unveil the person you are capable of becoming. Using other people as mirrors helps you to decipher your mask. Go out and interview people close to you, friends, lovers, family, and colleagues. Ask them which 3 things they like the most about you and which 3 things they like the least. It's important for people you're asking to know it's okay for them to be honest. You're the only one who will make it safe for others to tell you the truth. Find out if you appear to others the way you appear to yourself. Other people often see more positive aspects in us than we see in ourselves. And at the same time, they see more negative traits than we see or admit to ourselves. People often resist this exercise. They fear being judged. The word judgment carries a lot of baggage, so I prefer to use the word feedback. Feedback is a useful tool. We never have to believe what others think about us. But if we are afraid to hear what the people closest to us have to say, we should take notice of that. Most people are afraid they will hear what they fear most. This is denial at work. Think of denial as an acronym for don't even notice I am lying. We only fear feedback if we know on some level that we've been lying to ourselves. If you honestly feel that what someone thinks about you has no basis in reality, you won't care. We care when we've been deceiving ourselves and get called on it. That was a passage named Know Thy Shadow, Know Thyself, page 55 to page 59 in The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, Reclaiming Your Power, Creativity, Brilliance, and Dreams by Debbieford. I do hope that this has been insightful and beneficial for you and that our paths will cross again soon.